All right, we call the order at 7:02 PM on Tuesday, August 12th. Thank you all for joining us. I'd like to, sorry, those are minutes. I have the agenda.
There are extras next to Susan if you need one.
I printed extra.
They're just two, yeah.
Printer rate.
Yes, thank you.
He didn't print double-sided.
Sure, you can find it in a minute.
Thank you.
Thank you. Resigned the bills, the discussion adding a second, so our, Jackie of all trades, who, we all appreciate, is doing, dual roles and being our director, has asked us to discuss, adding a second accounts payable warrant each month to make more timely payments for utility bills, annual memberships, et cetera. I think that's fine. Does anybody have any?
Just had a quick question, because I think it's a good idea. I understand why you're saying it, but does it make so much extra work for you that you have to then do it all and then do it all again?
It's actually better because you're doing two smaller warrants instead of one very large monthly warrant that if you miss it, you've lost your window for the month.
Right.
So in terms of a workflow perspective, it would actually be more helpful because I could get them turned around quicker because there'd be only a few invoices on each. So
Because I used to do this when I
Yes.
was working, so I understand how the flow goes. And I just want to make sure that it makes it easier, not harder.
yeah, I think from my perspective, like I was down to the wire tonight getting this one prepared for you, and it's actually not due to our accountant until next week. So you guys have been syncing with your meetings instead of syncing with everyone else's accounts payable schedule.
Right.
So I was like thinking that it was due next week, and in fact, it was due for tonight, so we could get Mark's signature. So for me, it would be if the chair is willing to, and I added later in the meeting when we talked policies, when we look at the treasurer's role, if you would like two people to sign bills, because
What that was about.
yeah, so that's something where a lot of boards and committees, when they switch to this, will have two folks sign the bills. So I still have to have two trustees
We
review.
used to have three.
So that,
all signed before.
and then you made Mark the signatory, so
Oh, you're right, I'm sorry.
and so that was because you needed the majority, and then
Yes,
you
yes.
made the chair the signatory, which is great, and you could keep it that way. But part of the discussion of the treasurer role was, what is the treasurer going to do? And how are they going to monitor things? And this was a way where the treasurer could still be someone who's involved with monitoring. So the chair and the treasurer could be the signatories, or just the treasurer. I wasn't sure what
Or
the
either
intention.
or.
It could be either or,
Well,
and-
either or might be, because what if the two of them can't be available?
Yeah, I was
Then
just
that
gonna
holds
say.
it up, right?
Right.
Mark travels a lot.
so we could touch base when we get to the policy section of the night about what might be best.
Yeah.
Either
But
or might be part of the.
yeah, it just felt as though it was in,
Thoughts, 'cause you did
No,
a lot
because
with them.
the select board is done, does the same thing.
What do you do, chair or either or? two?
No, yeah.
you self-select your most available
well,
members.
Yeah, so that, because the meetings and the warrant schedule don't always coincide.
Yeah.
So the people that are most likely to be around on a Tuesday are designated as signatories, and it takes one signature.
Do you designate two, I'm sorry?
We don't designate two, so if
Okay.
one's not around, the other one, does it.
Makes sense.
But you only need one, so in this case,
One could do it.
designate, two people, but only one signature is needed.
I think that's.
And that way, every 2 weeks, a
Keeps it
warrant
going.
gets,
It's not held up because there isn't two there.
So let's think on this, and when we get to it, when policies will.
Yeah.
Make a decision. Very
Thank
good,
you.
thank you.
In the interim, I'm all in favor of, having a second warrant each month. Is anybody opposed to it? Do I have a motion?
I don't, do we need a motion? I don't
You-
think that's-
when-
It's the policy.
When we visit the policy, that's
We'll
part of
do it then.
amending the policy, if that's okay.
Great, thank you. Moving on to a little minutes, starting with, June 10th.
Like to have an addition made on E, which is on the second page.
On June 10th?
Yes.
Are there two June? Yeah, there are two June 10th. So it's a meeting and we're in the executive session.
We want that, yeah.
Yeah, or I said that I would not make myself available to serve on the screening committee. I stated two reasons why I would like those reasons to be
Can you
included.
put that again where we are?
Where is it under
E,
the?
back to the second page. Oh, yeah, back to.
Oh, the first item.
Question.
Sorry.
Two
Yeah, I was
trustees.
trying to catch up where you were.
So when I made that statement, I also included two reasons. So I'd like the reasons to be included in the minutes. First reason was that I had, served on the last two, so I wanted to give other people an opportunity to serve. And the second reason was, since I'm also on the select board, if I was on it, it would create a majority of the select board being on the screening committee and would pose all sorts of posting complications that didn't need to be there.
You know, so it's funny when you say that. I thought I read that somewhere that's already said somewhere, but I could be, I mean, what you're saying, I thought I read in the minutes somewhere. It's not already said somewhere else. I feel like it was.
No, it would have been there.
Yeah, I'm just saying, when you're saying it, just, I don't know, in my brain, I'm remembering that it's written somewhere else too, but must not be. You know it better, I'm sure, since it's something you said.
Yeah, it would be good to have that information added.
So it was something that you said at the meeting,
Yes,
not an additional thing you're talking about now.
No.
Gotcha.
no, because if I didn't say it, I can't add it to the meeting.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion.
I'm
that
sorry.
Those are two reasonable quick changes.
Informationally, I'm sorry, in E on the June 10th open session minutes?
Yes,
Yes.
so Mr. Prantaka stated that he will not make himself available to serve on the screening committee.
So
I made that statement and provided two reasons why I would not make myself available.
thank you.
So all you have to do is after screening committee say for two reasons. And then what the cost explained.
You have that?
Do we need a motion? Because I'm happy.
No, we're gonna do it all at the end.
Oh, I
This is
see.
the minute.
Motion, yeah.
We don't hold it that way.
Yep, agreed. Does anybody have any other input changes?
On this one, maybe we
additions,
should keep to this one first instead of going back and forth, right? We're gonna start with just one then. And it has
Well, then,
On June 10th right now.
June
right?
10th, a regular meeting.
Yeah. Any other changes or additions or anything?
I did not have that.
We'll move at the end to do them all at the same time. Move on to the executive.
Do each one.
One at a time.
Yeah,
Happy to do that. Sure. Do you have
I
a
make a
motion?
motion that the June 10th
for this?
minutes be approved with the addition from Costas.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Moving to the executive session minutes from June 10th.
No, June 20.
No,
June
June
10th.
June 10th.
If we're doing.
Executive.
Oh. Okay. Oh, yep.
It was a one pager, Sue, do you have it?
You need it, Susan, I have it pulled up. You wanna
I have a
look?
spare
Yeah.
here.
No, that's it, that's it.
She has it.
It's different.
She got it. Spares of all those, just not the actual.
Just a question, Jackie. I understand from what you've said to me that the, in the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth bullet, Mrs. Bresnahan stated. That an HR consultant, is his name correct? Can you spell that for me? John Madelman?
Looking for, where is it in here?
If you
It's
look,
not in there.
if you look at the fifth bullet. Ms. Bresnahan stated that an HR consultant.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, is that man's name John Madelman? And can we put that in there?
That would be fine. It is, that is correct, and that is his name.
Mattleman?
MATT, what is it?
Mattleman. JON,
JON.
no H.
Jon.
Okay. January.
Okay, any other changes, additions?
None for me.
Motion to approve as amended,
Motion to approve as amended.
I'll second.
Maria first, Susan second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Although I love the name Susan.
All right,
I do, you call me Susan, but I do love them.
oh, did I just call you Susan? Sorry. Sorry. All right, moving on to, June 24th.
Regular meeting?
Executive.
What about the regular?
If there are no more amendments, you could take the two June 24th session minutes and the July 15th minutes all as one.
Say that again, Jackie? Take
If
it-
there are no amendments to either of the June 24th minutes, either open or executive session,
take them
or
together.
July 15th, you could take those three as a package.
Why is that? Because they're not.
Just cause if there's no amendments to them, I'm saying.
Okay, so I guess we,
Post,
we'll see if we get that, Jack.
started with the 24th.
Regular.
Is Rachel Nemitz name correctly spelled?
NEMETH.
No S?
No.
No, yeah, it's correct the way they wrote it, good.
Okay.
I don't have
any
any edits.
No edits, no
From myself.
changes. All in favor, I mean, I'm sorry.
On those three.
Motion to, you wanna move on to the executive session?
Sure.
Are we doing all three at once, Jackie said? I'm getting.
Well,
Are we doing all three at once or what?
That's what she suggested.
That's what she suggested.
If there are no edits,
No edits.
any of
The three.
the three, so
I
are there
have no
any
edits.
edits from any of those three?
I haven't gotten to June 24th executive session.
Well, do you have any minutes?
Well, oh yeah, there's a type, maybe you corrected it already, Steph.
Which one?
Which one?
In
Which minutes?
the executive session on Tuesday, June 24. You've got the board entered, there's two bullets, and then there's a space, which I'm not sure why there's a space. Okay, maybe it's just mine, and then in the two more bullets, so that's the 1, 2, 3, fourth bullet. Ms. Baker's hands is the one that's expressed concern, that one? It
I'm
said,
sure that's
Executive
fair.
session?
yeah.
Okay, that's 1, 2, 3,
That's
4, the
four.
fifth bullet.
The
It's the fifth bullet.
2, 3, the one that says Ms. Baker's hands.
That's the fifth
Yeah,
bullet.
that's-
You know what, Allison? This was probably because I think they changed it. Maybe you didn't get,
Oh,
this one says
I think,
bullet 4 that I have, sounds like Mark.
I think I'm missing bullet
Colin
four.
wants to self.
yeah.
Why don't you look that up?
Oh, it's the red one.
Yeah, maybe, when
Uh-huh.
it prints out, if you
Okay.
don't have color, it kind of looks faded.
In the fifth one, Ms. Baker's hands has expressed concerns. If you follow that sentence, Ms. Bresnahan stated that she will work. I think you're missing a space.
Oh,
That's
between
all.
will and work.
Really big, important stuff. She's missing a space.
Well, you're paying attention.
No, it's just that with the color, no wonder I have an empty space here. That was it for me.
Okay, so you'll, in this case, we're gonna need to,
Make a
So-
motion to accept, the 3 mark, or do you have?
well, no, we haven't gotten the July yet, so we're gonna have to go back and accept, take a motion to accept, June 10th as printed.
You already did
June
one.
10th executive.
June 24th.
We were gonna make a motion for all 3 if there are no edits.
But
But except we just haven't edit.
But I would offer that's a Scribner's error, a Scribner's edit that the minutes taker could make.
No.
Moving on,
I will make a motion to accept.
No,
it.
wait, we gotta do 15.
Well, I am going to do that. I'm making a motion to accept it, unless you have some edits.
No, the next one, we have a third one.
Yes, all 3. I'm gonna make a motion to accept all 3 unless you have some edits. On July 15th.
I don't. It, under C where it's reorganization on the vice chair, we call it the vice chair secretary, if that matters.
That's up to Chair.
I think that night you made the motion as vice chair. You didn't mention the secretary part. So because of your policy, they are by right the vice chair / secretary, but
Okay.
I would offer that it I would consider it immaterial for the minutes, because someone used shorthand to name the
So
position.
then if there are no further, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes of, regular minutes of June 24th, the executive session minutes of June 24th, and then the regular minutes of July 15th.
I'll second that.
Yeah, Brayden moved, Allison second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, everybody. All right, moving on through our minutes to E, which is the Friends of the Flint report, and we have our liaison to the Friends, Miss Annie Wilton.
Thanks, Mark. I just want to remind everyone, the Friends don't meet June, July, and August. I mean, we are keeping in touch if things come up, but our annual campaign, which started on July 1st, is at $150 right now. And it's kind of a slow time of year for us. Our big push is more like January and February. And as a matter of fact, I just picked up a donation, another $100 donation, which is wonderful. And for July through today, so halfway through August, we've spent $4,054 on programming at the library. So programming through July and August, as you know, summertime is a very busy time for us. And one of the things that we're going to talk about when we have our next meeting, which is in September, is just thinking about the possibility of anticipating some federal cuts that may impact us in a year. We're going to look for grant opportunities that we can to make sure that we're staying in line with what we've been doing. And that's it. Thanks.
I'd like to just say something. I covered the henna program. And absolutely, it was wonderful. I had my first henna. You can see, and this lady was so into henna and the history. And I can't thank the Friends enough for supporting that program because the kids loved it. Parents came in with their daughters and sons and it got henna tattoos and it was very wonderful. So.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I would add to that, I covered the octopus painting, the first one I covered, and there was only one young man in the group. Everyone else was a little young lady, and so I felt like I should probably keep him company rather than sit and work in the corner. And I did, and I would have brought the painting with me tonight, but I came here directly from a ride home from Canada. But it's hanging on the refrigerator happily at home.
Can you take a picture and
I
share?
have one, I'm
Oh,
happy
good.
to. But it was a great time, really well done. Miss Julie, the teacher, did a great job. Really handled the kids really well. And then I did the program with the video games, and it was extremely well attended. But what I noticed really great was it was kind of set up like this, but a little bigger, and TV screens everywhere and kids playing everything, but they were all playing well together, and they were on teams, but across from me, they were talking to each other. But one kid got up to go to the bathroom, one kid sat down, and he came back and he's like, "Oh, was this yours?" And like they're all well behaved and polite and nice to each other and kind, and even though they were killing people on the screen, they were really kind of having fun and working well together, and it was a side of the library that I haven't seen, right? I haven't had kids in that here in a long time. So I haven't seen those programs that close. It was really, to your point, really amazing. Well done. The other thing I would add is, there was a lot of kids from out of town, different towns, and, they all come here for our programs. I've told the staff here that they come for our programs because they don't have the same quality and same level. So, cheers to the staff that puts them on, but also to the Friends for making it possible. It's really amazing.
I did the first half of that, and it was a rainy afternoon, so it was a perfect time, to the program was, built for tweens and teens. There were no teens.
No, they were tweets, right?
Actually, even, there was one little girl, who must have been about 5 years
Oh,
old.
my.
Her dad came in with her and they sat down and they played together. It was great, but I think, it points to the difficulty of doing things for teens.
Mhm.
Because, I think they have visions of them being better things to do than coming to a program at the library.
And I will agree with both of what you said, because I did both the sessions last month. And I have to say, I was a smidge hoping more kids would come. But that was a gorgeous sunny day, so I understand. But they were exactly what you're talking about, Mark. So considerate of each other's.
Amazing.
Yes, and I have to commend the staff because they put out all sorts of different kinds of chairs. Net chairs.
right, yeah.
And the kids were all trying them out and seeing if
Yeah.
they worked. It was really nice. And today I had the good fortune to do the Mary Poppins program.
Nice.
Oh, my goodness. She's
She's a real deal.
a real deal. She does 15 different characters, from Ms. Frizzle with the school bus, and Mary Poppins is just one of them, but the outfit was perfect on this hot day in a suit with a black raincoat and the hat. And she kept the little from 1 till 6 years old, from age 1 to 6, like holy mackerel, they were all engaged. And I thought we had a good number. I thought.
Yeah, it was a really good number.
Yeah, it's an impressive, really, really impressive program,
I think
programming.
that's a good say to the Friends for supporting this, but the staff,
Most
Well,
especially the staff.
Yeah.
the staff
Carry it
needs
out.
to have kudos too.
Yeah.
For for,
Carrying it out, they had to do all the work and set it up and get it going.
Yeah.
Make sure
Oh, I
it's
had a
running.
prepared speech to say, to welcome people and to give them announcements, because there were going to be pictures taken and they needed a disclaimer, if you don't want your child in a picture, make sure you, and I just talked to Jackie about it. I took 20 pictures and then I went and edited them and condensed them. I got a lot of ceiling and floor, so.
It's,
Cute.
it's a lot of fun. It's really, really,
Nice.
another thing that, on behalf of the board, we brought chocolates here from Putnam Pantry. And I would just ask any of the thousands of our viewers at home to remember your library staff, and on these hot days, feel free to drop off things that they'd appreciate, because they're all working hard.
As long as they're
And,
under $50.
Yes, under $50. Here's my octopus for anybody that really wants to.
That's really odd.
It's,
She is pretty good. It's not like, I was expecting more stick figure-y kind of.
They all, it
What's
was
his
a
name?
crazy group of
Did you name him?
octopi.
I did not name it,
Name.
but my friend Preston, they have a blow dryer to dry this to move it forward more quickly, and he offered to dry mine for me. I think he liked getting up and moving more than sitting still, so it was a lot of fun.
So you made a friend too.
Yeah, he was good. He smudged the eyeballs. He thought they looked better smudged, so.
Oh, okay then, the artist in him.
You really got into this program.
I'm back, yeah, signing up. I was lucky somebody didn't show up and there was an empty spot next to Preston, so I wasn't sure if I was gonna be allowed to play.
We have a policy on that tonight to discuss, we'll see.
Yeah. Moving on, does anybody else have any other?
Thank you, Annie.
Yeah, so thank you for your report, and thank you for your support. It's a really amazing thing we have going here. Moving on to our trustees report. Moving on to our acting director's report.
I do have a comment, Mark.
Oh, okay.
You skipped
sorry.
over F, Chair's report, but I think that's correct, because there really should not be a separate Chair's report. The Chair's report should be included in the trustees report, and that's according to policy 4, our former bylaws. And that suddenly started appearing on agendas in the last month or two.
Well, I think,
I think it was a last month holdover, that's my fault.
Yeah,
I'll make
it should
correction.
really be under trustees report.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, the chair doesn't have
Yeah,
his
that's
report
my
with the
typo.
trustees, but yeah.
Yep, that's,
So just put it under trustees, yeah.
yeah, we'll combine those going forward. I missed that when reviewing this as well, so I'll take, the heat for that, but really,
No, it's just that somehow it popped up and
well, it's because our template has changed. Anyway, we'll make that note going forward. Does anybody else have any other trustees? That's coming, later.
I
Is
got
it
a-
later? Is it under the trustees report? I'm sorry.
I got a question.
Oh, policy potential, I'm sorry.
I checked out a book before the meeting started, and I got an email with my checkup receipt. I've never gotten that.
Yeah, they do, the new people have been doing that, I noticed, I did too, I was
Oh.
like, what is this?
Well, does it bother you, or how did you
No.
find it?
It's the first time I've
Was
gotten
it
one
customer
from.
service?
I don't think the staff actually does it. It must be an automatic thing
It
generated
was the
that we
first
checked
time I
off
got- first
Someone
time I
must
ever
have
got
checked
one
it in,
myself.
in the
in
system.
the system, yeah.
It's the first time I got one too, last week when I. picked
No,
up the-
it's not,
It's not bad, it's not good, it's just new.
it's just, yeah,
Okay,
Let's be glad we're not stamping cards
Maybe
and
they
more
changed their
pasta.
system and it generates that, or maybe the newer people are doing.
So you
it.
check the box, default to
Yeah,
the
maybe,
box,
maybe,
but
yeah,
It's got
Well,
the system to.
I've never had it before either, last week.
how intriguing, let me,
I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think it's a
Report back.
bad thing, actually. I think it raises awareness.
They picked up.
Yeah.
well, I like not getting a piece of paper, I would prefer
Well,
to make them.
Absolutely.
we don't,
You
I
know,
never got a piece of paper.
Sometimes people ask for them, and we'll print them or receipt if they're worried
Use it
about
as
forgetting.
bookmarks.
Mhm.
But so,
Well, the only time you get the paper is if you had a book on hold and then the receipt is on the shelf because you're picking it up so you can.
We do stamp books, if you get adult fiction, some of them do get stamped
Some of
too.
them do, so.
so I mean, I'd be curious, is this an automatic thing that's gonna be happening going forward, which is fine, or does the person doing the checkout have to check a box for the receipt to be sent?
The email
I
receipt.
think I'm gonna learn something new tomorrow, and I'll follow up with the board.
I suspect it can't be the only way, because some people just don't have email or just don't have, you
Yeah.
know. But I want to say, Costa, I think you got it because you're special.
I don't think I'm special.
I got one too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, well, we have two special.
Two specials, so I don't know. It's a-
No, but I got
It's a Greek thing.
I'll take it, Costa.
It is a checkbox for Greeks on the.
There is, only Greeks get them, right? Only Greeks.
Yeah.
Everything's about everything
You
comes from the
you
Greek
should
root.
add the Greek box to
Yeah.
our minutes. Hey,
Or not.
does anybody have anything else?
Laugh, Mark.
Great, it's good.
It's all
Good
good,
stuff.
it's all good.
Appreciate you sharing and it's good to know. Glad that we got it. That must be new because I took a book out a weeks ago and don't think I got one, so must be relatively new. All right, moving on to the acting director's report.
Thank you.
Jackie of all trades.
Hello, good evening. A number of updates for you tonight. I'm gonna go in the bulleted order. From a budget update, we are buying books and materials aplenty now that we are in the new fiscal year. This warrant tonight, roughly $6,300, some of utilities, but some of purchasing materials, and supplies.
And we don't get that, usually get the budget report.
I don't have it printed for you. I'm sorry, I'm
That's
having
okay.
printing
That's okay. I
issues.
Didn't see it in the packet.
But you'll start getting them more regularly again.
It's fine.
Once I'm done with the ARIS reporting, I can do a little bit more with
No
the
problem.
trustees.
Check.
But all of the departments within the library have their appropriate spending to get started with for this year. At some point, we'll need to make some adjustments, mid-year because we'll be funding the collective bargaining agreement at some point at a future town meeting. So, I'm making sure everything's ready to go so that when we know final numbers, the materials budget will commensurately be updated.
Can you explain funding the collective bargaining?
So what
Money from the library goes to that?
so within our salaries and wages, we have the full-time staff and the part-time staff.
Mm.
And they are currently in collective bargaining with us. And at a future town meeting, their contract will be funded, meaning right now they haven't received a cost of living adjustment because we've been bargaining with them. So probably at the spring town meeting, we'll have a retroactive correction and a future budget for the following year.
Okay.
So with that being said, I'm making sure that our expenses are gonna be planned in advance so that we're meeting all of our state requirements for books and materials spending, despite the increase to the bottom line of our fiscal year budget that will occur at the May town meeting. Is that
Who
track?
does the decision making on, without a librarian and an administration? Who does the decision making on what should be added to our collection?
So, we have our three collection development people, so we have someone in children's collection development, someone in adult circulation and collection development, and a teen collection development. So they had made plans before, Loretta's departure of getting started for this year. They, have been doing their homework, reviewing all the different sources and reviews that they review before they put together their lists, so they've been keeping up with it. So all that ordering's been happening pretty
We'll
status
be
quo.
lucky when we have our new director who
Can support that much better.
yes.
Yes, but we do wanna make sure we're still keeping up, with some spending because we don't wanna be so behind. So, a lot of new releases come out in the summer, so keeping up with new releases. School summer reading was done before this fiscal year started, so we were
Planning
ready.
for September, yeah.
Yeah, so they're planning for November right now, more than like anything,
Okay.
September to November. So, but I will say all of our collection folks are really diligent. They have a lot of different input that they receive before they make choices. Including feedback from members of the public and so they're hard at work, but the biggest piece is making sure we adjust those budgets at the end of the year to keep up with our state spending requirements.
And is any weeding being done?
No, and that's from me. Weeding just wasn't a priority. More importantly was, fulfilling holds, keeping books circulating, buying new. So there'll be some weeding getting caught up when a new director's here.
A big task for next year.
Yeah, it'll be a cleanup weed, for sure in the spring, winter, spring. But, it's busy right now too with the kids being out of school, so that'll help a little bit too.
Okay, good, thank you for the update.
Yeah, happy to. As far as annual reporting updates, I will be submitting the ARIS part 1 this week. So this is particular our circulation reporting, our programming, our meeting room usage, things like that. So I'm gonna say about 92% done. I've just got some final calculations on programming and I've been going back and forth with our folks at the consortium on a couple of numbers that felt dramatically different from the last few years because sometimes the coding and what is included in the figures changes. So making good progress with that. And I do want to give a shout out to our adult circulation interlibrary loan person, Paige Cole, who's been helping me with all of that work.
Absolutely, can I chime in on that?
Mhm.
Finding Paige has done an amazing job. Working right alongside with
Yeah.
you, doing studying how to make it, how to get into the system.
Yeah,
Yeah, kudos to both of you, but.
yeah, she's been very
yes, I'm
diligent.
glad you called her out.
Yeah. So Mark, I will need to borrow you on Thursday at some point to sign some paperwork for that, if we can talk after the meeting about timing. So that'll be submitted, and then October already has, training going out for the financial reporting. That's a little bit more in my wheelhouse, but plenty of time to get that submitted on time. But my plan is that by close of business Thursday, will be submitted and it's due at close of business on Friday, so we'll be done with that. As far as building updates go, we continue to work on some alarm testing. You may recall the last time we were here, that was ongoing in the building. We've had some repairs that we've been working on. We're still waiting on one more part. I'm working on getting the elevator inspection scheduled, just some time sensitive things that can't keep. So that's what's going on with the building. Library programs and service updates. So
Before we leave,
oh, please.
did you have an opportunity to look about, I think Loretta had gotten an estimate for the clock.
I
repair?
did find it, but I don't know if the person is still doing clock repair, cause there's one guy. So I will follow up with you all on that. It was not a priority this month.
Yeah, that's fine, because I think, at some point, we should decide whether, to go immediately forward using a combination of funds that we turned over to the town for the building, or if the friends can contribute to that, rather than, so we can get the project started. If we wait for a town meeting appropriation, we won't be able to get started till next July.
Good point.
And it was gonna be costly, if I remember, I know that right.
I gave a number that I thought I remembered, but
I thought it was like, was it 20?
I had mentioned 15 to 20, but I have no,
Just kind of,
how accurate my memory is, so. So I'm not
I
really sure.
remember something like that number, which sounds so high. This is special,
Yeah, it's one guy doing it.
maybe,
Yeah, he's only,
Jackie said maybe he's not doing it.
Is this the
He's
guy out
retired.
of Reading? Does he work out of Reading? Cause Reading had an amazing clock repair company.
If I recall. It's James H. Roberts, a certified clock master of Clock Folk of New England. We're looking at a total of. And I wanna get this updated, because this is from last fiscal year, so I don't know if they'll keep me, if, this is from September of 2024 initially, so I may need to adjust. But at that time, it was 4,800.
48, oh, that's better than 15 to 20.
So my memory, what?
So it was,
That's better.
it was
It's
300,
It's way more than that.
yeah, that's just what I'm,
He has to take the clock out of the thing, take it back to where he works. He has to completely take the whole thing apart and put it back together and figure out what it is that's making it not work. I mean, we already
Excuse me.
paid like $3,000.
I'm gonna agree, the big relief I see on your face, not 20,000 anyway, right?
Well,
Well,
I
it's
would, that 4,800 may have been just for the temporary repair.
Because we did temporarily repair, we had someone come so that at least it would run properly. And it didn't take, so to speak, and the gentleman at the time who came and fixed it said, in order to really fix this. I need to take the whole thing apart, take it back to my thing and rebuild it and figure out. And I do believe it was in the $20,000 range, because we talked about possibly using town funds, CPA funds, friends funds, and trustee funds to try and. Sort of like we do with the sign.
And I think we should really look at community preservation,
Right, we talked about that.
because it's a historical thing.
The
Um,
board will have to get
Mr.
that out.
Chairman, are you still looking at that octopus?
no, I was looking for James H. Roberts and
Um,
listening to
Where it was.
James H.
It's
Masters.
possible.
Located.
Masters.
I'm wondering if this is just the information for the temp repair. I don't have anything of a different value.
Okay.
So Annie, if you could send me, if you have some documentation of another price point. I don't have anything further than the 4,800, so, but let me also check with Justin, because he may have been more tuned in because he was working on the conditions assessment, and so that might have gotten handed
I
off
think
to him.
that's maybe you remember hearing the Tony Costa too, and Justin, when he talked about that needs assessment, when he was here, like done.
Yeah,
That whole presentation in his.
All right, I won't cross off 15 to 20, all right.
yeah, let me follow up with Justin, and see, cause it might be also that there's a benefit to doing it at the same time we're doing any kind of roof repairs. Obviously, it's a different vendor, but if they're already going to be a lot of activity, let's just do it all at the same time. But let me follow up, and Annie, if you can send me, if you have anything in your email from Loretta, that would be helpful. If you don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure that I'll look.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for sharing the historical information you have, Annie.
So that's building updates.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm happy to announce that our September brochure is already out and about. If you haven't grabbed a copy, there's more at both circulation desks. Couple of highlights because we're trying to get the word out. Registration is opening for our Middleton Citizens Academy. Very exciting. It's gonna be starting the last week of September with yours truly amongst our other many wonderful department heads. So very exciting to be participating in some adult programming here at the library, but Also a really exciting opportunity for residents to engage in how municipal government works. And I'm very excited because I'm gonna be hosting a teen program for everyone's favorite age range, for 14 to 18-year-olds, specifically hiring help for teens. So I'll be working, if you have a teen in your life who is looking at for getting their first job, they should come see me. Wonderful, we have our carnival night, which is one of our other big programs on September 24th. A lot of credit to Jackie Roosin, our children's programming library staff member. She is coordinating that. That's gonna be really fun out on the Historical Society lawn if weather agrees with us. And then another highlight that is kind of different from something we normally offer, we're doing a safe baby class in September for adults. So it's gonna be hosted, it's gonna be taught, excuse me, by our public health department, and they are gonna be doing infant CPR and home safety. So that is new, in addition to our many other wonderful children's programs.
What was the one that you're doing, what date was that?
The hiring help for teens,
Yeah,
September 30th.
well, that's good. I was thinking the date given when they go back to school, then you'll have maybe
Yeah,
more interest and maybe give Masco a heads up about that.
that's the plan.
Do you have
Yeah,
a date
good,
on the safe baby?
Safe Baby is September 9th at 10 a.m.
But reaching out to Masco would be great. They
Yeah,
appreciate that,
it's on the plan.
guidance councils or whatever.
Yeah, Masco and probably Essex Tech, because we do
And
have some
Essex Tech
students
too,
there
I
too.
should have thought of that too. They do a
Um,
pretty good job over there with that.
Yeah, I've worked with guidance in both, and they've been wonderful
Yeah.
partners.
Good.
And then we have a lot of our favorites, Mahjong meetup, Tai Chi, yoga, needle crafters. But thank you to all the trustees who volunteered to help us with programming in September. I think we'll have less need of volunteers October on, but I do appreciate all the volunteering in August and September that helped us make this schedule possible. We do have 2 opportunities still open for volunteering. If you have not made it to One Up Games, the second session of the second half of that on September 16th, I'm looking for a volunteer. And then also looking for a volunteer from the trustees for the Sunday, September 14th urban walk of historic Middleton from 1:30 to 3. And
Does
that's,
somebody, I mean, I don't know a lot of the history of.
oh, there is a
Middleton.
guide you would just be representing.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I
it is
didn't
just,
know I had to talk about the history of Middleton, so I
No.
was kind of nervous about.
yes, there's a wonderful guide coming from the Essex Heritage Group, and they get guidebooks, so that it would not be leading the tour, it would just be being a welcomer.
Okay. Well, let me look at the schedule and
Thank you.
talk things over.
Yeah, I hadn't committed to those yet. I know they were open still, but I have a pending trip and I haven't confirmed yet, so we can figure out
Yeah.
what's best. Okay,
Fabulous.
great,
And I
thank
have a tough time with September with work deadlines, but if I could, that would be the one I might attend, but a tough one. September.
You can still attend if you would like to learn more about historic
I
Middleton.
would like to, whatever work deadline.
So we're keeping busy with that, already working on October and November, as well as some bookings for next summer for some of our summer regulars, so that we're on their calendar, which is great. Thank you to the programming team for that. Staffing updates. So as I said at the July meeting, our new circus assistants were starting. They've now both started. They're both still in training. If you haven't come by to meet them yet, please do. But we are still working on teaching them many different skill sets so that they can successfully cover different circulation desks independently. Lots of learning our geography, learning certain unique things that are specific to us, learning about the different ebbs and flows, meeting our patrons, which is an important part in engaging with them and prepping to support them. So that's going really well. On Thursday, I'm going to be interviewing adult services candidates. So we got about 29 responses for that position, and I'm going to be interviewing, I think, about 6 people on Thursday for the role. So very excited to get to know those folks a little bit more. But with the intention of, I would reserve the right to have a second round as always, but with the intention of trying to make an offer within a week of those appointments. And then, there's a separate call up for the library director screening committee. But as far as staffing updates go, the last piece I want to talk about is the assistant director position. So at the time that our former director gave her notice, I felt it would have been putting someone in a very unsuccessful situation if we had hired an assistant director at the time. I've now been in the building for about a month and a half. The timeline for the library director screening committee, this kind of a dual update. We've extended the posting to September 2nd. The new advertising we've already started to see some more responses. I'm looking forward to getting some more by the deadline on September 2nd. With that being said, if that process goes well, we will have applicants coming in September 2nd for the director. The preliminary screening committee will do their work the first few weeks of September, reviewing applicants and then doing their interviews, and then deliberating and forwarding finalists to a joint meeting of this group and the select board. We will then have that joint meeting that will likely be end of September at the earliest, but likely the first week of October. And at that point, we will have those finalist interviews, deliberation, make a recommendation, and then we'll have contract negotiations because we'll have an outside candidate. So with that being said, that's putting us to mid-October if availability and everything goes our way with the library director search. And then anyone worth their salt is gonna be likely giving 3 or 4 weeks notice to their current institution, which is bringing in a library director roughly between Veterans Day and Thanksgiving at this point. We would then have the 3 finalists who are still interested in coming here, meet with the director. So it would be likely January 1 before we saw an assistant director come in, because obviously the holidays delay all that. So that's a lot of schedule.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. Justin and I have been having some internal conversations. With also having an adult services person likely getting started in September. It's my intention that all 3 of our excellent finalists are still interested in coming here as assistant director. I worry that waiting diminishes the support for our staff. I worry that they may find another opportunity. So I think there's pros and cons to both hiring sooner and waiting. I think because of the last few weeks, I would still ask to remain acting director. I would not want to put a new assistant director in that position. But I do think we're in a successful enough position that bringing an assistant director on, knowing that there's some training that they're not gonna be able to get from me, they'll have to get from MVLC, from some of our staff here, from other directors that are adjacent to us. But there are certain things I can support with payroll and accounts payable and like Middleton budgeting. I would like to bring in an assistant director. So all 3 I spoke with last week, all 3 finalists, and I'm gonna have them come in for another meeting this coming Friday to meet with Justin and I. They haven't met Justin yet. And I'd like to select one. And
I think we should go forward as soon as possible, get another body in the building. And being able, as we go into the fall and, early winter, your time is gonna be needed elsewhere by the town. So by having another body, an assistant director, you'd be able to better manage your time commitment here and to the rest of your obligations, so.
I think that's true.
And if we wait, those 3
May go away.
may go away, so if
And-
they're good applicants.
Right, but wouldn't Jackie, you still have to be acting director per the rules though, correct? I just want to check on that.
I'm not saying that she would go.
No, I'm
away.
saying, I want to confirm, because you can't be I can't be the assistant director to be in place, it has to be the director, right?
Yeah, so I would remain with this board
No.
support as acting
You're
director.
saying no?
No, it doesn't have to be a director. It could be a librarian, assistant director, but in this situation, that would be impractical because we're just hiring someone who doesn't know our building. So
Okay,
that
but the
wouldn't
rule
make
is though,
sense.
it could have been if.
It could have been.
It's not a no.
And I think
Just want to
to,
understand the rules.
But I
So
don't
the-
think that's fair to somebody.
Oh, no, no,
that's
but I
an
wanted to-
assistant director and
Not a new person unless they're already assistant
Yeah,
director.
that's what I was
somewhere
saying,
else,
yes.
Take it
so,
on.
and I would offer, I think that's where having an assistant director come in, they'd have time, but they'd also be a master degreed librarian with
Absolutely.
experience in all different aspects of librarianship, which I just simply can't support the team
assistant
with.
director,
So I-
The assistant director,
all three of them.
all
have-
three of the finalists have
have
that
an
credential.
MLIS degree.
So I do have
That's a
a
plus.
question. Yeah, I'm sorry, Maria.
I don't know if it's.
I have a question and I'm thrilled to hear that they're MLIS degree, but my concern is that I spoke with Loretta and before she departed, and the job description she wrote was for an assistant director that suited her skill set. And she explained to me that the statistics and the numbers and all these monthly reports are not something that she feels, that Loretta said to me, that not something she didn't feel she was good at or wanted to do. And that therefore she geared the assistant director job description towards the financials and not towards librarianship, not towards the collection development and that. And so my concern is that we should review the job descriptions and perhaps amend them, because a new director may be strong in statistics. I think, I've mentioned this, she
So-
may have a different idea of what she needs in an assistant director.
If I may, I'm more of a primary author on all of our job descriptions, across the board, HR Jackie, switching hats. So while there was an interest in that, I can't say that the job description is a comprehensive job description that includes all of the different pieces.
What was changed since the previous assistant director?
Nothing that wasn't like a labor law update. So I think it was more of what she was looking for in candidates, but there weren't significant job description updates.
She did mention that in our meeting.
She did.
That she wanted the person to have more accounting skills because she was good at.
I think that was
so
her
she did a
ideal
good
candidate,
meeting.
Yeah.
but it was not something that's not a job description change I would make.
That's good.
Great, I like hearing that reassures.
The
me
job
because
descriptions
I was
stay with
concerned.
me.
That's good.
I don't wanna say that they're static because I do review them before I post them. But I will say that there is a certain amount that has to stay in them no matter what, because this position, the assistant director position, is in our non-union compensation and classification schedule. So if I were to change the job description more than like, oh, we use workflows, or oh, we use Symphony and versus Evergreen, more than that, I take a step back before we do it, because I have process as part of the non-union comp and class before I adjust responsibilities. And there's a whole list of categories that I look at. So I will offer that I think all three of our finalists are excellent. They're all very well-rounded. They've all had experience with multiple age groups. They all have their degrees. They've all had experience with multiple libraries. And while I think they're all interested in the financials, I also think that they are all people who have good experience in the librarianship piece.
Okay, so you're assuring me.
I
that
think they're very
they're
well-rounded.
well-rounded, that was my word.
I think I might have asked you this before, I'm sorry. Any one of them assistant directors presently? Any of the three?
They've all had titles changing in different locations. They've all either been head of a department, assistant director, or some other management level position.
But all of them, only, so one or two or three of them have been assistant directors or currently?
Some libraries don't have that title, but they have
Oh.
that responsibility.
Yeah.
So I can't, it's not a yes or no, I apologize.
No, that's okay.
It's,
I
they
didn't
all have
understand when you
been
said that.
in management level
Right,
positions.
So different libraries have. it.
They've done supervisory work, they've done budgetary work, because my big look was having people who had experience doing supervisory. Because we do have quite a large staff here,
Well,
so,
we do now, again,
yes,
finally.
so I'm gonna be
Yeah.
meeting with those folks on Friday. It's my intention to try to make an offer within a week of those.
You don't have a concern, as was the big concern when we were looking at this last time, that a new director would like to be able to choose their own assistant director, or that this person won't take some kind of ownership, being the librarian in the building, and then we'll have issues when a new boss comes into the picture?
I think those aren't not concerns, however,
Aren't not
it's,
concerns.
yeah, I know,
Okay,
it's a chicken and the egg. There are pros and cons to hiring an assistant director now, and there are pros and cons to waiting. I think the pros of hiring
I don't
now,
think we can wait. I mean, I think we really need, I mean,
And I,
Pros outweigh any cons that I
I think
see.
at this point in time, if we're talking January 1st for a director.
but I think
potentially, I
because
think we
we're
have to.
aware of the cons, we can do as much as possible, because all three folks
Mhm.
know
No,
that-
she's saying January 1st is what we'd be looking at.
it would be
So we-
January first,
January
realistically,
1st is
before
January
they're
1st.
starting in the building, if we
That's
wait.
A
Yeah.
long time.
Um,
Do you need us to vote on?
I
that?
need
No,
nothing
no,
from you
it's
tonight,
nothing.
but I wanted to make this update because it is a critical member of the team.
Thank you.
And again, I discussed the pros and cons at length with Justin. I also met with all of the full-time staff individually about it, because I wanted to express my thought process, hear their concerns. And you know, the consensus was there are pros and cons if we do it now, and there are pros and cons if we wait. We can mitigate some of those cons, and I think
Yeah.
all three know that they're coming into a situation in which a library director will be hired after them. And I think I've been very upfront with them of like, this is where we are. And they know that before they accept the role, that there will be some work with me, with MVLC, with the staff here. But that their more strategic direction will follow in a few months when the new director
And do
starts.
any of them or all of them have ARIS experience? I'm assuming they must, if they've been
If
in
they-
an assistant director or department head role.
I didn't ask that specific question, but it's one I'm willing to ask.
Yeah, only because if we can get them started, they can support the September, October 1 deadline.
Yeah, I think, I'll ask.
Yeah.
I don't think that,
I'm
I
gonna
will
bet the
say,
answer is yes.
I think it's yes, and I don't know if it would be a deal breaker. Having gone through it as a newbie,
Mhm.
I don't know if it's a deal breaker for
I'm not
me.
suggesting it is, I'm only suggesting that's a good question to know.
Yeah,
Boy, would
absolutely.
We love that person if they could.
Yeah,
Okay, so I agree with it. I guess
agree with
everybody,
consensus,
that I think it's a great idea.
I appreciate the support.
And,
We all realize there's pros and cons in any.
sure, we have confidence in your hat wearing HR director for the town. You wearing that hat in this role is probably best possibility for us as well. And I think it also shows the future director that we are nearly fully staffed and working well together and creating a cohesive environment for that person to come into. So, yeah, great. Thank you for that.
And so obviously that coupled, my library director screening committee update is September 2nd is the revised deadline. I laid out that timeline. For those of you that are on the screening committee, if I could get some availability from you, if you can send me your availability, if you haven't, for the first, not Labor Day week, but the 2 weeks after that, and I'm gonna send another follow-up email. Some of the committee has sent me availability, some hasn't.
So like that's the 8th.
The first 2 full weeks of September, yes, the week of the 8th and the week of, I think it's the 5th.
That's for the screening committee.
That's for the screening committee.
Okay.
And then, could the full trustees send me your availability the weeks of the 29th and October 6th for a joint meeting with the select board?
now, can I ask a question? When I looked at the role, does the select board have a decision role in who's the trustee? Because when I looked at the,
trustee, you mean
about the director,
Mhm.
it's
joint meeting.
It's a joint decision of the
Is it
select board and the
joint?
trustees.
Because-
That's something that, the policy hasn't reflected how we've been doing it the last few times we've
Right,
done it.
because the policy says the library
Correct.
trustees.
And the previous town manager, administrator, we had that discussion and he disregarded that. He said, that's not the way we're going to do it, and it was. Unwelcome to me, because every town I've ever worked in and every director I've ever hired, it has been the library trustees who do the process and then present their candidate to the select board.
You know, I just was, you know, I
I've
had
never
read
seen it done the way
I
this
had read
town
the policy,
Yeah, of course.
and it says the library's trustee appoints
Correct.
the director.
You're right, Susan.
I'm just following the process that we did the last time.
Okay, no,
So-
I'm just saying that's what it says.
No, I appreciate that.
It's not only the time, it was the process that was followed when Loretta was hired and when Melissa was hired.
Right, but I wasn't on the trustee trustees then.
Yes, it was when Melissa was hired. Unfortunately, when Loretta was hired, it was, I noticed, I was a trustee at that time and noticed it violated our role and responsibilities policy 4, and I brought that up and was told irrelevant. We're going to go ahead and do it the way we did it 10 years before, as if that mattered. I would like to state for the record that I feel that this board should have more influence in this process. I respect that there are 2 trustees on the screening committee, but I believe from my experience in other libraries that this board should be the screening committee.
So I think the screening committee piece is a bridge we've already crossed.
But I mean,
But
all I'm
I would
saying-
offer, I'm implementing the process that the town has historically done.
Right.
I think if folks would like to have a conversation about if the finalists are not gonna be reviewed jointly, that's a conversation between you as elected officials and the select board as elected officials. I'm not gonna speak to it any further.
No.
I'm happy to set up times for folks to talk, but I will
Well,
say
mean,
that
all I'm saying is that this is what our policy says.
I serve 2 masters right now.
Yep,
So if the trustees would like to have a conversation with the select board about it, I'm happy to coordinate that. Beyond that,
No intent
my
to put
intention
you
is
in the
to
middle,
follow
right?
the-
No
No,
intent
the
to
pra-
put you-
my intention is to follow the practice that we've been doing. The policies of the trustees are simply policies of the trustees. There have also been things in the policies that we've violated when it comes to appointing vacancies on the elected board of trustees, because there's mass general law that speaks to how we do that. So I would say that
So
anything
that's a
further
different
than this,
situation.
yeah, anything further than coordinating a conversation between 2 elected bodies,
Yeah.
which I'm happy to do.
And I'd like
I'm,
to add that, the select board, in addition to us and not, separate from us, but, also has the best interest of the library at heart, and I don't think.
I think that we have more of an interest because the select board has the whole town that they're looking out for, where we are looking out for the library.
I agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more, Susan.
I
Thank
think
you
it's a
so
good
much.
statement that I myself with Allison, who just made that, and sounds like Sue, want that, a statement in the minutes to that effect.
So I think the card has gone.
That doesn't
ahead
matter
here,
with the
but-
card,
but
the
we can-
minutes should reflect it.
Okay, the minute, I'm happy to have the minutes do that, and I can also, ask for a meeting with the, chair of the select board and have a conversation about this as well.
Could we invite him to speak with us at our meeting?
I don't think it's him, right? So.
It's
Brian
Brian
President.
President.
Oh, whoever.
It's Brian
Brian
President.
President.
Oh, Deputy
Right.
Zach. that makes-
Right.
I think I would say have a conversation with him and,
I would like the board to be involved. with
well, and
this.
that's where, if I may, either the select board already has 2 other committees joining them for a joint meeting on September 2nd. They do have a second meeting in September. I think maybe we start with the chairs just to coordinate a discussion, and
I
then
have a
that,
problem with that.
having the chairs coordinate a meeting date for that conversation, that,
A meeting date or a meeting?
a meeting date for like when that conversation can happen, so that,
No, I don't have a problem with coordinating a meeting date.
okay.
I thought you were talking about having the discussion, and I think
No, I
the
don't.
board
No, I
deserves
think
to
that's
have the
would
discussion.
not be appropriate under the open meeting law. I'm saying coordinate a meeting because the schedules aren't perfectly aligned, because you guys are doing Tuesdays and the select board are doing different Tuesdays. Well, in September, you'll be back on Monday.
Mhm.
So I'm just saying coordinating when that conversation can occur.
We
Because
go
I
back
think
to
it-
our regular town.
Yeah, so I think having the chairs coordinate when that conversation can happen so that both bodies can participate.
My concern also would be, and Mark, I disagree with you, nothing is set in stone. We have a wonderful screening committee that is set in stone, we're not going to change that, but the follow-up to that can fall more on the shoulders of this committee, the trustees of the library. As Susan was saying, it's in our policies, and we are more capable. We know what this library needs when we're interviewing, and I think it would be more appropriate for the second phase of this, after the screening committee comes to its selection,
Yeah.
that this board whittle it down to the candidate to present to the select board.
I hear you, understand, and, I will have this conversation.
Great, thanks.
Thank you for your sharing your concerns.
And could, oh, I'm sorry, I wanted to ask you about the dates to confirm the dates and shifts.
I just want to take notes about this conversation so I can have an accurate conversation with the chair.
Can I ask Jackie about the dates?
Sure,
While you
please.
take-
Yep,
Give you
yep,
time to
please.
take your notes. Jackie, could you just repeat again the dates?
Yes,
I
please.
didn't catch those dates with the availability for the
So,
screening.
For
Dates,
you,
September
Maria,
8th.
the screening committee, I'm looking for your availability the week of the 8th
Yep,
and the week of the 15th, please.
okay,
And then I'm looking for your availability for finalists the week of
Board.
for the full trustees, the week of the 29th and the week of,
September.
yes, and which goes into early October,
Yeah.
and then the week of October 6th.
okay.
I don't wanna do it the same time you would do your normally scheduled meeting. You have too much to do each month. And typically we usually have at least 3 finalists, so having it its own separate night is the standard protocol. If we try to tack it on to another meeting, it just adds.
I'll send you an email, if that's okay.
That would be
That's
wonderful.
easier for you, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow.
And I'll send reminders in my follow-up email to the whole board about what I
I
need.
just want to be clear on the dates, that's all. Or the week.
Absolutely.
And
Someone to do this.
No, you have to leave it open. We're a public meeting. Thank you.
I also, if you don't mind going over the calendar, I'm sorry, Mark, I'm interrupting here. Can you just review again? If
The-
I'm correct, the timeline for the director screening, you said that posting closes on September 2nd.
Yep,
And then we have these 2 weeks in September for the screening committee. So you said the first interviews will happen by mid-September. By October, you expected finalist interviews.
either the week of the 29th or the week of October 6th.
Yes.
Those 2 weeks.
Right, and then there would be, contract negotiations, and I believe what I wrote down here is that you said by mid-October, the soonest, we would be able to offer a job, offer a director, and then look forward with 3 to 4 weeks' notice and all that, a November 1st start date,
I
not
would-
a January.
Not,
No.
no, I would say no, between,
Because then they have to give notice and things like that.
so January
Right, but she had mid-November.
as the
soonest
start date,
As a
as a,
offer date.
no. So you'll have the finalist interviews either the week of the 29th of September or the week of October 6th.
Okay.
You would deliberate and you would select. The selection would be made,
By
in that same,
October 6th week.
that same week, so
Okay.
either the same night as the finalist interviews or the next night. So like last time, we did the finalists in one evening and then the next night we resumed so that people had a chance to consider and think. And then we
Right, I
deliberated the
remember
second
that.
night.
Yeah,
And so then at that point, a candidate would be selected.
yeah.
I would give them a call, do my thing. We would, have an executive session at some point in preparation to do the contract. So I would work with all of you. We'd have that executive session. We'd make an offer to the candidate. I would facilitate the negotiation. You would have a meeting, ideally at your October 14th meeting, have an ability to execute a contract, or we may have to add a follow-up if we don't, a Zoom or something, if we don't get it going fast enough. Once they have a contract is when they would give notice in their current institution.
Mid-October, hopefully.
Ideally, mid-October, most people are gonna give 3 to 4 weeks notice for that level of position. So that's where I'm saying, I think the earliest that we have someone in the building is between Veterans Day and Thanksgiving, just to
Right,
give
that was a
you.
November start date.
Yeah, not November 1st though, which is
No,
what
I
you said.
didn't say November.
Oh, okay,
I
sorry.
thought you
First.
said January.
I thought you said,
Yeah,
then you were
January
saying January
1st.
1st, and
That was for the AD,
that's for the assistant.
if
Oh,
we
I'm sorry.
waited.
You said,
Well,
I said
wait.
director too.
No.
That's
I missed-
assuming we
okay.
have a director and then they.
Right.
They hire
did hear
their.
that.
There you go.
Thought you
There you
said
go.
Yeah.
So, and of
Gotcha.
course, schedule and Jackie laid out
Mhm.
is if everything
At best.
goes smoothly.
Correct.
At best.
And that's
Yeah.
where I'm getting
So-
your availability now, so.
Right.
You're gonna suffer through what I do with other elected boards. You can ask Costa about his schedule in March of 2023. I basically booked the select board for like every night for 3 weeks. So we had plenty of opportunities to meet to get the process done. So I'm doing the same thing so that if things go wrong, we've got backup dates. But ideally, Costa is correct, like I'm planning, if everything goes our way with a little buffer, if there's something that like this body can't come to a consensus, obviously that throws my plan out the window. Ideally, I'd like somebody coming in prior to the Thanksgiving holiday. That's my goal.
And I had mentioned to you in one time when we talked, that have a week away in early
Yes.
November. And we crossed our fingers that this wouldn't happen while
I
I was
think
away, so
I
I'm
will-
concerned now.
No, I'm not concerned. I think the activity of the trustees should be completed in October.
In October. Okay.
I will be even more divulging that I will be away at a conference from the 24th of October to the 30th of October.
Oh, boy.
I expect you to have somebody signed, sealed, delivered, and just waiting to start when I go.
Already gave their notice.
Already gave their note, contracts done,
Signed.
already gave their notice, assistant director's here. I'm going to a conference and I'm coming back and a director starting within days.
Goosebumps.
That's like- That's the dream.
I like it.
Um,
Come on, get that in your head, get those dates.
Well, all I know, I've been through various, searches whether it's school superintendents, town administrators. You lay out a schedule and invariably something happens that,
Don't even put that out there in the universe.
I've created some buffer in the schedule. I hope we don't need it.
I hope so too.
To Costa's point, be prepared for anything. But
In your capable hands, I think we're on schedule.
I need it to be on schedule. So
So that's your last bullet. Do you have any other points?
not at this time, but thank you for all the support and for helping with programming. I know the staff appreciates it. And just to echo Mark's comments, the staff's really been stepping up. Folks have been doing great. Biggest challenge is trying to get them to not burn themselves out, the ones that are remaining. So they're working hard. They're getting a lot done. We're still having some great programming numbers, which is wonderful. But keep the staff in your mind because they're really digging in.
They're smiling, Mark, and when you've come in, you've noticed this, when you've come in, and there's your reason why they're smiling.
They seem they're content, they're feeling like they're really helping.
They have good leadership, man.
But they feel like they're really stepping up, so that you feel good when you contribute like that.
They're all doing excellent jobs. We really appreciate that. Moving on to the next item, policy review and potential approval. So starting with policy 21, the child safety policy. I did not
Jackie's.
injure Preston while I was painting.
Oh,
I don't know. Check in.
Different type of child safety.
yeah.
So there had been some concerns raised by the staff. Allison and I had gone back and forth on this draft. There had been a presentation of this at your July 15th meeting. I think we're in a good spot on this policy. I think we're in alignment with the appropriate Mass General Law. I think it agrees with our other policies that it references, which is always a fun codification effort. And so we're just seeking your approval on this tonight.
I had one comment, because I was trying to something else, but I don't know.
You have 21 in front of you?
Oh, 31.
No,
32.
No, 21.
32, what do you mean,
No,
21?
30.
Policy, 21 child safety policy.
No,
Yeah.
32.
Oh, I apologize.
It's 32.
It's 32, or at least
21.
No, I think 21 was because it was simply what you're saying. It
So,
was,
the
it was
draft-
just making sure the MGL and all that, and we still
Oh,
need
it's
to
on the
approve
agenda,
it.
it's
Oh,
20.
it's on the agenda is 20.
But it's 32 that you said.
it's 32 that was on the number on the draft that you sent me.
It is 32, but I thought there was also another one we were
We
looking at from last
fi-
month. I
We
don't have my.
fixed that last month.
We did, we.
Yeah, it's all set.
Got that all set?
Yeah, I apologize. It was a Scrivener's error. I didn't update that number. So we were looking at 32,
32.
which is the child safety policy.
Okay.
But
I thought
32 is the
32
library
Program policy.
32 is the library.
I may have messed up the name. 32 is what was in your packet and what I intended to discuss tonight.
Which is the.
So it's not the child safety,
Program
Yeah,
policy.
it is about child safety at programs,
but.
but it is a program policy. I apologize.
Okay, so 21 and the child safety was handled at the last.
All
meeting,
set.
Right.
And
This is 32.
what we're discussing tonight.
So
Which
I
is
would,
the Flint
Are we
Public
allowed to
Library
if it wasn't
program.
on the
policy.
agenda?
I would say
It's
that
not on the agenda.
if you have any feedback for me, I'll renotice it for your September meeting. That's my fault.
I do have some feedback.
On policy 32. That. Says that it was adopted
What bullet are you looking at? Where are you looking?
at the bottom where it says when it was adopted.
On the third page there?
Yeah,
So, it was adopted in 9/11/23, and it was a proposed revision for today.
today.
So 2 years later.
Yep.
And the only thing I see being revised is that supplement
Crossed out.
was scratched out. What?
Last meeting, we talked a lot about policy 32 and you had a lot of changes. What you're looking at here is the redraft considering all the things that were discussed last month.
So what does
But to Costa's point,
the supplement being in guidelines used to develop programs at the top, at the last, well, it says potential to promote supplement, which is crossed out. Is that a
I'm
further?
not sure why Jackie crossed that out.
It was crossed out in the track changes.
Yeah,
that you
maybe
sent
we
me.
just decided we didn't need that extra word and it somehow was a glitch.
Yeah, you had crossed it out. You said we didn't need
We
it.
just don't need it. We need to promote and
So I think
encourage.
that was just cross out.
Yeah,
And then most of the edits, most of the material edits are in the criteria
right.
section.
But when everyone else has had a chance, I'd like to say, because I have a concern.
Oh, you go ahead.
Sure.
You were very much involved in doing.
No, I did. When you and I met,
Yep.
my notes show me
Did I miss something?
you changed some language or you didn't change some language.
I might have missed something.
Yeah.
I was looking at the page from my notes. Yeah, just give me your
You're
edits.
right.
Give you
So
your
if you
edit.
go under the criteria for patron participation and you go to the way bottom, the last one,
Uh-huh.
it says caretakers are required, and that was what we removed. It should say caretakers may.
I'm just
attend.
pulling up my copy, because I remember I took a picture of your notes, Allison, so we were working off the same.
Yeah, and I have all my notes and my notes all say may.
I'm wondering if I just missed it.
Yeah, probably. We worked, I'll say, we worked for hours on this. I worked for hours at home before I met with Jackie. She worked for hours before she met with me. Jackie R in the children's room had good input.
So it should be caretakers may be permitted. To
No,
attend.
caretakers may attend.
Yeah, may attend.
Caretakers may attend with their child,
So
which
you don't want
I
a
think-
child under 7, you don't want an older
No, it
adult?
says may.
I know,
But
but
I,
as the library, don't we want an
So-
adult with the child?
Yes,
But there's a problem with.
but here,
child safety addresses that.
so,
Right.
so the thing is, Costa, the policy says that people that are of the ages the program is being offered to are the
Right.
people that are supposed to be in those programs. But for those, but caretakers with their child 7 or over may attend, because we're not listing the adult ages on a children's program.
Okay.
So it's the 7 or older that we're addressing here, Costa, not the 7 or younger.
It is 7 or younger.
it says 7 or younger.
It is
Oh,
7
yeah,
or
it does
younger.
say
It's about the
or
fact
younger,
that,
like, the reason is that what we're finding the staff is dealing with is that a register, and this also only applies to where you need to register a child. So if we're limiting a program, let's just say to 20 kids, and they get to 20, and they might even have a waiting list, and this addresses that also. But then what happens is the mom comes in to drop their child off, whether it be a 10-year-old or a 5-year-old, and the program is geared for that, and it's also if they're younger, 20 kids, so that the staff and the presenter can handle the kids,
Yeah.
right? And the mother says, well, I have to be in the room with my 5-year-old. And oh, by the way, I have my 3-year-old with me and I need to bring them in too. And now our concern, the staff brought this up to me, that they're concerned because we've registered 20 kids, because that's all the materials we have, that's all our presenter has said would be appropriate for their program. That's what we can have in the room. Now, if a parent feels they need to be in with their child, we wanted to put something in here that said, yes, you may attend with your child, but This lets them fall back and say, but I'm sorry, your 3-year-old can't go in, or your baby can't go in with you. You may go in, but no, this policy doesn't allow for unregistered children to attend because of very real
Material
concerns.
limits.
But if I'm carrying a baby, that, you know, and I have a 5-year-old in the room,
Mhm.
that baby is not going to take up any.
But the noise and the.
So
Yeah,
it's,
but
Well,
it's one of
just
those,
say not a
it's one of
baby,
those
say a
scenarios
3-year-old.
where when there's programs with registration and limited materials and you are
limited
bringing your
materials.
toddler to a more of like an elementary grade program, we don't necessarily have the materials for your toddler to participate, because if you've registered one child and not both, we may not let your other kid participate because of the registration
That's fine.
restrictions.
Which is,
But that's
But
what this
that's-
address.
but
that's
not-
all.
It's so that the staff have policy to that effect to lean on,
Mhm.
because we do have interactions sometimes where parents are really tough on the staff because they've brought a second child who wasn't registered and wanted them to participate. And the registration programs are registration programs because of limitations on spacing or materials.
which is addressed in the bullet just before that.
Right,
Where only registered patrons may attend registration.
And so if your
Right.
child is 7 or younger and it's a program like today with Mary Poppins and anyone could come in and sit, that's not a problem, you can come in. But if it's a program where we've got, 29-year-olds, 9 to 11-year-olds registered, and you bring in your smaller child, you can be here with your smaller child, but it doesn't guarantee their participation in the
But
program.
also, it's a situation where that child may be disruptive, and also where, the material presented, because the staff, and it also says that in here, the staff may be presenting specifically for 9 to 11-year-olds, not appropriate at all for a 4 or 5-year-old or 6 or 7-year-old. It's for a tween group, and so the staff has to consider that if you bring in your toddler or your kindergarten child, the material may not be appropriate. So this allows the staff to say, for registration required programs, not for today's Mary Poppins,
Yeah, that's a bad example.
right? Well, today's Mary Poppins wasn't a registration
No, it
required, so
wasn't.
parents were certainly welcome to come in with their infants, and there was a teeny tiny
So-
1-week-old, 2-week-old kid.
Susan, so it's not about separating parents, it's about whether or not your secondary child who's not registered can participate.
Yeah, I don't think it's addressing the baby, it's the.
It's a
It's
The
a kid,
4-year-old that's here with the 7-year-old that's signed up for the.
their child,
No, it's May.
May
May
attend.
attend.
okay.
The only the
So-
caretaker though, not.
That was the change Allison just reminded me of, is that it should be caretakers may attend with their child 7 years or younger despite the age range listed, but it doesn't mean we necessarily can accommodate their participation in the
And I
program.
think that something else we need to remember is that if a parent feels their 5-year-old can't be alone in a registration required program, then please don't register your child, because in this kind of a special registration situation, we have regulations and policy that we need to uphold to support the staff. I mean, this was a request made by the staff.
Right, but
I think the confusion is I did not make the appropriate edit. So, and it's not noticed, so you can't take any action on it tonight anyway, but I'll make the amendments and bring it to your September meeting. And what I can also do is,
I think we can make it tonight.
no.
it's not noticed appropriately on the agenda.
Oh, that piece of it, yes, I agree. Yeah.
So I'll notice it on September, but also I'll ask, I'll work with our children's programming, staff member Jackie, to put together like an example of a program we've recently had where this policy would have been helpful.
Okay,
If
yeah,
would that be
yeah,
helpful to you, Susan, is to have
Yeah.
like an example situation better than what I'm coming up with on the top of my head?
yeah.
Let
yeah.
me, I'll ask her for, an example program that we've recently had, without naming, without getting too detailed.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that way, and I'll include that in the packet.
And I will assure you, Susan, that Jackie and I have had discussions and talked with Jackie R. And really, she wrote an email to me and said, these are the things that we're dealing with. Please make sure the policy addresses these concerns. And that's why Jackie and I came to this last.
Just trying to have the, staffs back, but it
Yeah,
is
we are.
confusing,
Right, I mean.
so I'll put,
And if they're registered, they're registered.
It's the issue of the people who
And
are
other
registering
kids.
one child and not the second child and bringing both from one family. As an example,
Okay, so
And-
we just need a motion to table this till next month, right?
you don't even need a
No,
motion.
don't even-
it's not on the agenda.
Policy.
No, it's policy 21
Oh,
on
oh.
the agenda.
So I'll renotice it for Sept.
Okay, all right, so
Yeah.
we're skipping over policy 21 or 12 or 32, whichever was supposed to be spoken about, and moving on to policy number 4, roles and responsibilities.
So this is based on, I revisited the conversation at your July meeting about the treasurer role and the concerns of, do we keep it? Do we let it go? If we keep it, what would they even do? So just starting in Article 2, Item 4, vacancies. I've made the correction. So under Mass General Law, vacancies for an elected position have a specific protocol for how they're reappointed. It's a joint appointment. I've put in that change, and I also just made a note that in Middleton specifically, we do all of the advertising through our talent bank process, through the town administrator's office, so that all of the things get up on the Middleton website and get noticed to all those folks who might be interested. So that's just, updating the Mass General Law, to that piece, as well as the protocol that we do for just how we coordinate those joint appointments when they come up.
This is dictated by law, there's no.
So
nothing to
the
discuss.
jointness of it, the appointment is dictated by law in terms of asking people to submit their application of interest to the select board and trustees through the town administrator's office, through the talent bank is a local process.
But can I ask you, Jackie?
Please.
On here, you write advertised, and to me, when I read that, that means advertised out in the world, but I think it should say posted on the town website, unless you feel that's too tight.
I had said advertise because we post usually on our website and on social media. We
You do
post it,
social media too?
we do. So that felt,
Okay.
Appropriately.
So it's not just the town
yeah,
website.
it won't be in the newspaper. because
No.
We don't notice those in the
What
newspaper
about the
anymore.
newspaper?
Yeah, we still do quite a lot of noticing in the newspaper, unfortunately. It's quite an expensive hobby of mine.
So if you're also doing it on social media, then I get that. If you're
Sure.
only doing it on the town website, I thought it should perhaps just say, how is it, the town administrator will should be just posted on the town website, but if you're doing also social media and other like that,
No.
I get it.
I've got a little bit of a question. If it says, such appointments shall be valid until the next town election.
Mhm.
So say I resigned like in the first year
Mhm.
of my
Of your term.
term. Then there's a temporary appointment,
Until the next town election in
and-
May,
and then is that person only for
for the remainder of the original term. So that next, yeah, that next trustees election, say it's a year that 2 folks are up, would
Yeah.
have 2 full 3-year terms, and then the balance of the vacancy term. So there'd be 3 seats available.
Okay.
And that's Mass General Law
No, I just,
protocol.
I'm just clarifying it. in
It's a
my
great
head.
question.
Thank you.
So those are that changes. I don't know if there's any other questions,
Just silly technical question.
please.
Under Article 5, number 5.
Oh, wow,
Oh, I'm
was
sorry.
there anything else about Article 2, Section 4 before
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I just want to make sure that section we felt.
Okay, now what do we do with this to review?
I think
We-
it's also.
Back
we
to
do have it.
discussing
Okay,
whether or not we want to appoint a treasurer who's also has the potential to sign warrants.
Which
That's
but that's on down
4
further.
-4, right?
No, that's what?
No,
Yeah.
that's-
Duties of the treasurer.
So now we're going to Article 3.
You're going to a different.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. But Article 2, Section 4 vacancies, there are no more questions.
No.
Okay, fabulous. So then continuing on, Article 3, starting with Section 2. So sections 2, 3, and 4 have edits. Because when I re-listened to the discussion at the July meeting, there was a conversation of, do we have a treasurer? Do we not? I didn't hear strong consensus in either direction. Then the question is, what is it, if we keep a treasurer, what do they do? So one of the things that I was problem solving was the fact of the monthly accounts payable, when it would be really helpful to do them on the cycle with all the other departments every 2 weeks. So I said, how can I do that in a way that allows there to be trustees representation with appropriate timing, but still continue to move the workflow? And so that's where I said, if the chair and or treasurer could be enabled to sign copies of the accounts payable, they would still be presented at the trustees meeting as information and the following meeting, the way we do, with other boards that sign bills for money. But then at least the flow could keep going. So I amended the chair's position to include to review and sign copies of accounts payable warrants. I amended the duties of the vice chair secretary to review and sign copies of accounts payable warrants in the chair's absence. And then the treasurer to review quarterly updates from the town regarding trust funds to ensure funds are being spent appropriately and in a timely manner based on need. And two, to review and sign copies of accounts payable warrants. So this would enable 3 different people to be able to sign. Certainly the vice chair / secretary would only do so in the absence of the chair, but then there's 2 people who could be signing those warrants. So I was trying to find a solution that felt like it met the different needs. Open to suggestion, but this was just kind of a first pass at that situation.
I do like it, but I do have a suggestion.
Please.
The language of to serve. To review and sign copies of accounts payable warrant,
Which one? are you
the language that you've got for the chair and the vice chair and the treasurer.
Mhm.
Can we make B on the treasurer to be the same language as the other 2, instead of saying to sign checks and other documents, to say to review and sign copies of the accounts payable?
So, I did cross out to sign checks and other documents, that, I don't know if you
I
printed
did-
in color, so
I
it maybe
didn't.
isn't showing.
Yeah,
So I deleted the old A and B of treasurer
okay,
and included to review and sign copies of accounts
Okay.
payable warrants, and then A, which is the to review quarterly updates, was added.
Mm-hmm.
And I have it on here if you'd like to see it in
no, I
color.
believe you completely.
Okay.
That makes sense that that's what you did. Thank
Yeah,
you.
sorry, I'm a tracked changes person, it's just the only way I'm gonna be able to remember.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So if you want to
That's
see it
fair.
better.
Oh, thank you.
Make it easier
Okay.
on the eyes. It is nice when it's in colors, fine, but you have it in black and white.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry about that. It's
No,
just
no.
how I keep track. There's so many legal documents that
No, you're
I'm
right to do it
editing.
that way, but on.
I want you to
color.
see where my brain came from.
Yeah, good, you did exactly what I was recommending, so we're
perfect.
thinking exactly alike.
Fabulous.
Thank you, Frida.
No problem.
You can have it, I have
Do you want it
a
out?
spare.
Sure.
I have a spare.
Oh,
I run
thank you, Mark.
spares of everything. What's the real agenda?
Your printer is tired.
Hey,
It ate up one of the things I tried to copy for today.
Yeah, I really did a number on it.
Yeah, no, you're thinking exactly the way I was thinking, so thank you for that edit in advance.
You,
so. How many people signed the warrant?
Just one.
One.
Okay,
we've already,
So-
we've
But we
already
have 2
made that.
that's fine. So it starts with the chair.
Mhm.
Yes.
If the chair can't do it, then it's the vice chair.
Mhm.
And if the vice chair can't do it,
Then it's the treasurer.
okay, then the treasurer's
Do you need-
role should,
To say in
Yeah.
the vice chair secretary's absence or in the chair's absence still.
and both, and if the chair and the vice chair are unavailable, then
Yeah,
the treasurer.
Yeah,
in the absence. Let me edit.
Of both
Yep.
the chair.
So there's a, kind of a hierarchy there.
no problem, yep,
Did
I had added that.
did we dissolve the treasurer's role?
You took no
You took
action.
no action, so
So
there
this
was,
be the discussion to
so
bring
you're
it
still.
back.
Well, no, because.
I make a motion to make.
No, nobody
Counselor
would
Treasurer.
object.
Yeah, you'd,
Mark, how's that?
And the,
if you keep the position,
like
we'd have
that.
to notice that you need to reorganize to include that at your next meeting.
Can you put that on the agenda for the next meeting that we?
Sure,
Yeah,
Can we do that, Mark?
it sounds like we need to.
I didn't know if he just was still treasurer since we had an appoint, well, yes, you are.
Yeah, I
still
mean,
treasurer.
technically, you are until
Yeah.
you're not, sorry.
Until there's a replacement for you, and since there's none, you're still.
well, I mean,
But good try.
you need to reorganize every year,
Yeah.
and in the reorganization.
Right.
Your role doesn't continue unless you are,
No, it does. According to our bylaws, the role continues until you're replaced.
It says that?
not according to the town charter.
Well,
But we motioned first and second, all approved you 2 month meetings ago.
I'm
teasing, teasing.
but we can put,
So
we
we'll
can
take
do it
care of
again.
it next month. We'll take care of it next month.
Yeah, so, and we'll still have
Please
another.
don't change your mind in between.
We'll have another hearing. I mean, Costa knows I'm gonna find him to sign warrants no matter which board or committee he's serving on. That's unique.
It's around on Tuesday.
You really are. It's like one of my favorite things about you. We're Tuesday people,
Do all these things.
to quote a crate book, but. So you'll still have to review this for a second review at your September meeting, and then I could put the treasurer, reorganization after the policies, if, depending on how the vote goes. So that's that section, and then I think the only other piece that I made a comment on Article 5, Section 5 is in the order of business. We have the various items that show up on the agenda each month. And it was my recommendation that bills to be approved and paid could be either struck, or it could be changed to, like, we already have in the director's report a pretty standing item of update on the budget. But then there's still also the treasurer's report, so I guess, is this duplicative if we change
We
this
certainly
procedure?
don't need unpaid, that would be something that's.
But in an effort to just try to, if I was looking at the policy, I just wanted to look at the whole thing.
Sure.
Yeah, that doesn't need to be an agenda item, bills to be approved and paid doesn't need to be an agenda item on our agendas because they're taken care of outside of our.
Well, they
agenda.
didn't used to be, so that's why it was on here.
Yeah, I'm saying, so
Yeah.
we can get rid of that, since we're
Yeah.
editing the policy, we can just get rid of that whole bullet.
And we can put it under either the trustees report,
Or
or just in general, we don't have to list it, but just in general, under the trustees mention, yeah, the bills were paid.
yeah, I mean,
We do that in the beginning.
it could be,
Just taking it out.
I would take it out and then
Leave it
you'd
in the
get,
beginning,
you,
signing bills.
yeah, you'd
Yeah,
get it
okay.
taken off the agenda. And then we either keep it in the treasurer's report or the director's report,
Okay.
where the longstanding budget updates have been.
That's fine.
Yeah, I agree.
And then members present, that's not on the agenda.
No, that's an odd one.
Yeah, that's,
Because there's no action there, like,
No.
even call to order, technically, you do that, you don't have to have on your agenda call to order, that's just a parliamentary style.
I think that's fine, but I think putting members present, we don't
Usually.
do a roll
Stephanie-
call.
That's part of the minutes, it's not
Right,
part
it's
of
part
the
of the
agenda.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we could strike
Exactly.
members present in an effort to just clean up.
Striking members present, because like Costa just said, it's in the minutes.
And I think, I don't know if it was deleted before me or if I deleted it, cause I was trying to get one of the agendas to fit on one page. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't know if it's
Margins
been,
half
oh,
an
there,
inch and you will,
yeah.
your margins are too.
Um, so I'll make these notes and then, bring back in September, unless there's any other questions.
Well, you know what, we used to have and is missing, and I think we need it, is anything. And maybe policy 32 could have been included if we had this on here, anything that wasn't, like, it used to be called new business.
Items not
And-
anticipated by the
Yeah,
chair,
that
yeah,
needs
so
to be-
we've taken that off of every agenda.
Oh,
Because under open meeting law, that is not sufficient noticing for the public, because people bring up any number of interesting items and they've not been appropriately noticed. And so what, you can do it as information, but then you couldn't take any action or have any deliberation. So out of an abundance of trying to protect at least the boards that I work with, I removed that item
okay.
on a lot of agendas per council's open meeting law
I was
training.
just thinking in this situation, we could have then said, well, we misprinted 21, but we are gonna discuss.
But
32.
then,
But then-
unfortunately, if you're somebody who cares,
Yeah.
we did not appropriately notice you.
Yeah.
That's one that like, just it's the same way you'll never really get an email from me where you're all in the two, you're all getting BCC'd, because I don't like to create an environment unnecessarily for open meeting law troubles,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah, no, that's good, thank you.
That's fine.
So I'm gonna make a motion. Do I have to make a motion? No, we don't have to motion that for?
Not at all.
Okay.
We just need to move to discuss, or we need to discuss, not move, we need to discuss, meeting for the next, date for the next meeting,
It's there on the agenda.
Monday, September 8th.
Yes.
Is everybody okay with that?
It's what our bylaws tell us.
Yeah, we have to.
Just make a note in your schedules, if you please, that your October meeting goes back to Tuesday because of the holiday.
Last year, we had, discussed the same issue and we decided to move it from the second Tuesday, Monday to the third Monday.
Oh, okay,
Oh, we did.
Yeah, because
cool.
I had brought it up and.
Because of select board.
So what is it gonna be, October 20th now? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So,
October 20th?
yeah, so if the second
Is
Monday
Columbus.
is the holiday, so
Columbus,
we'll
yeah.
move it down, a week.
So from Columbus down a week would be
Yeah.
the 20th this year.
Can I say something controversial?
Well,
If you move it to the 20th, which is fine, can we at least plan to have a Zoom the week of the 14th? If we want to be able to,
oh, the screening.
just, can we remain open to the concept of an off-cycle Zoom if we have a contract to approve for a director?
Of course.
Agreement,
You have a meeting,
yeah.
you have a
Yes.
meeting on the 14th, is that your select board is Tuesday, the 14th,
No,
October?
I don't think so.
No, it's the sixth
7th and the
and,
21st,
and the,
Oh, you did the
20.
6th and the what?
and the 20, and
the 7th and the
the
21st.
7th and the 21st, yeah.
Okay.
But, so if we can just, 20th is
Would that-
great. But we can just reserve the
Why
right to
can't-
have a quick Zoom if we have a
Take it to
contract.
October 14th, Tuesday then, to not go so deep, if that's what you're saying, this with the screening committee.
Because there's always a chance that the select board's gonna be busier than Costa and I want them to be.
So you
And-
might have a meeting you don't know about at this
Mm.
point, you mean?
So, and,
It's preventative.
yeah, and, when we had the discussion last year, we had agreed to move to the.
Yeah, but we weren't
Stay on Monday.
anticipating a screening committee.
As
Well-
long as we're open to a Zoom
I'm
off
saying we
cycle,
should
then
go
we're
for
good.
the 14th perhaps, then it sounds like.
So my question, Jackie, is that Zoom meeting would be strictly to approve a contract?
Correct. It would be an off cycle half hour. We'd have already done the executive session.
Yeah.
I would be coming back.
Um,
There might be a brief executive session.
Okay.
And then we come out to approve a contract. So that's where I don't need it to be on the 14th. The 20th is perfectly great for me. As long as
You
the,
thought it might be too late.
but if we're open to a quick Zoom earlier than the 20th, then we're all cool.
And, it also may be that the 20 is the date that it's ready.
True enough,
True.
true enough.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It may land that way, right?
I have dreams.
Yes.
But September 8th is a Monday at 7 PM. Oh, can I please say, let's keep it at 7? I know it runs a little late, but you had, somebody did
Well,
something.
I had asked if,
I flubbed the 6 o'clock.
for people to meet earlier, but if it doesn't work for everybody, what's the point?
It just confused the heck out of me.
I thought it was 6 to, at 6 2.
Tonight it should have been 6. I flubbed it.
I thought it was,
No,
two, and I
it's a
said,
good
I
try.
must be remembering wrong, so.
And I missed it.
I should have emailed you, Jackie, sorry.
No, I mean, Steph caught it. She was the one that did listen to the meeting most diligently, doing the minutes. So I,
So as a normal course, 7 on Mondays works better for people than an earlier time. That's fine.
September 8th.
September 8th.
just around the corner.
So next day, September 8th.
And I'll get you.
If there's no other, discussion, will someone move to adjourn?
Move to adjourn at 8:46.
Allison moves to adjourn. Any second?
I think it's just so moved.
So moved.
Mhm.
So any all in favor?
Hey.
Aye.
So moved.
So,
No
we're
one's gonna say.
done at 8:46 PM.
It's enough. Everything.